for your right.
You know, I heard before the fact Madonna was supposed to be here.
No.
Yes. I kid you not.
For the march today?
The march is starting. I'm wondering what you all are doing.
After a week and a half of diplomacy, Michael has left Rio Centro to visit the Global Forum and join in the protests.
Let me actually, do you have a phone on you?
Cellular?
Yeah.
With 115 heads of state due to arrive, Michael is also developing a secret plan to speak out when he sits as the U.S. representative at the summit tomorrow.
After the youth speaker Wangari Mwangi from Kenya gives her address on youth, the United Nations, she'll acknowledge me from the podium, and I'll give a brief. I think I have about 3 minutes to give my speech, and it'll begin something like, this evening George Bush will arrive, and today I will leave the U.S. delegation in disgust. It's like Liz, I got into it with Liz Barrett-Brown. It's like, she was like, well, at least the U.S. is pushing for democracy in this process. I said, Liz, don't tell me about this democracy shit. I mean, they won't sign an agreement, excuse me, they won't sign an agreement that says we're going to ban the trade in toxic waste. Don't talk about democracy. I mean, give me a break.
Michael has to call New York to discuss his plan with student activist friends. New to street politics, he's surprised by the massive protest the Brazilians have organized.
It's huge. It goes back. I mean, I can't even see the end of it, and supposedly about another 15,000 or so people are on their way here now as we speak. I mean, I've never seen this many people in a march, man. It's insane. I don't know. I really need to talk to you about what the hell we're going to do with the U.S. delegation, because there's an opportunity for me to see the president on Friday morning. Say I'm off the delegation tomorrow, then, you know, I probably won't have that opportunity. So we need to think about, you know, which is better, for us to blast the president at a press conference, or us to like do stuff inside the UN plenary.
The following day, the youth delegates get their chance to speak to the Earth Summit at Rio Centro.
We are concerned that few negotiators probably have realized how critical their decisions are to our generation. By failing to address fundamental issues such as militarism, regulation of transnational corporations, democratization of the international aid agencies, and the inequitable terms of trade, my generation has been damned.
Halfway through her presentation, the UN TV transmission of Wangaki's speech is cut off. UN officials call it a technical failure, the only one of the conference.
They would like to know from the US delegation that has been so recalcitrant throughout the answered process.
Inside the plenary hall, Wangari asks Michael a question so that he can read his protest statement, but the meeting's president does not allow Michael to respond to her. Stymied, the youth delegates and their supporters try to hold a press conference outside.
We cannot afford to be complacent anymore. Given the obstacles we face as a generation, particularly as youth in this world, I sincerely believe that we are in a life and death crisis no matter how you look at it. Thank you very much.
Just after Michael speaks, the UN security police move in and begin making arrests.
Being forcibly removed from the United Nations. This is the press conference. This is the press conference. This is the press conference. Freedom of speech. Freedom of...
Michael will be handed over to the Brazilian Federal Police.
He was dragged away like a common criminal. U.S. youth delegate. What is happening? How the hell are we going to solve the world's problems if we sit around and whenever we speak something, we are dragged away? What's going on here?
Nine hours later, Michael is released.
Excessive emphasis has been given on mega dams or large projects as against the traditional irrigation systems the small-scale irrigation systems, the farmer-managed systems.
After almost 2 weeks of discussions with activists from more than 16 countries, Juliette's Dam Symposium has finally come together.
During the flood time, when India does not need that water, they open the whole dam gate. Now they're flooding the whole Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh River cannot hold all the water. It floods the countryside, devastating all the crops in Bangladesh.
I've been fighting dams since 1938, when I was 26, and I still have dams to fight in the Hydro-Quebec project around James Bay in Canada.
Everything that was supposed to happen in this meeting is happening. There are people from Bangladesh, from India, from Brazil, from Argentina, from Tibet, from Africa. When I work in my office at Berkeley, sometimes I can get very closed in. And to be able to come here and actually hear these people talk about the impacts of dam projects on their lives in the many countries that they're talking about is very important for me. It gets my heart back involved in my work, and I'm very excited about it.